We are here live, SOM Live podcast. I'm your artiste, the Bronson Garrett, and I am here with Ricky Dooley.
What's up?
Not too much. As we've been doing on these before, this isn't a character-driven podcast. We're not going to sit here and talk about how much we hate each other.
Yeah, I know.
Or we're not going to sit here and yell at the crowd, tell them how dumb they are, or whatever the case
true.
may be. We're going to get to know the people behind the characters, the gimmicks, whatever the young kids are calling them these days.
Whatever.
So today, we get to know Ricky Dooley, the person. So student number one, patient zero, huh?
Yeah, patient zero.
So what brought you... I guess we'll go ahead and start from the beginning. Who is Ricky Dooley, the person? Where are you from? Where'd you grow up at?
I grew up in Johnson City, Tennessee. Lived here all my life, you know, and recently moved to Limestone. So, you know, and been a wrestling fan as long as I can remember.
So growing up, wrestling's obviously it takes a bit of athleticism, a bit of character driven. What was your background growing up? Did you play sports in school? Baseball, football, basketball? You know, were you into acting, anything like that?
Acting, no.
You weren't a drama kid, or
no.
You weren't in the choir or anything?
No, I couldn't. I can't sing, so no. But I played baseball, basketball, football until I broke my arm, and then I said no.
Did you play baseball and basketball in high school? Or?
Played baseball. I didn't play basketball because I wasn't good enough for the team.
What position?
Outfield.
Okay.
Right
Where'd you play at?
Right field. Played David Crockett High School.
Okay, so just right down the road.
Yeah.
So you guys, I mean, y'all played some pretty stiff competition.
Yeah, we played Science Hill, Dobbins Bennett, Tennessee High. I think that. Yeah, that's about
Science Hill's always had a hell of a baseball team.
Yeah, they had a guy. What was his name? No, it was DB that had one of the top pitchers that could have went and played for the Yankees.
Well, Science Hill had, I think Fisher's is like he plays for the Tigers now. I don't. If I wasn't trying to think of his name, I could think of it.
Daniel Norris.
That's it. I don't know why I was thinking Fisher, but
he was throwing 98, 99 as a senior.
Did you ever have to play against him? Were y'all the same age range?
No, I was older than him.
Oh, okay.
But I did play against. I can't think of the dude's name, but Holman was his name. But he was a big dude.
That name sounds familiar. Like he might be in like a. I know a lot of guys around here end up in the farm systems. Like
he played a little for ETSU, but good God, he had some power though.
I know there's a lot of guys. Justin Graham, who played for the Cubs and the Rangers for a little bit. He came out of Virginia High.
Yeah, we never played.
Y'all didn't play Virginia High?
No, we basically went to Knox County and played. Remember, what was the Kenny Chesney song that he played football?
Crap.
But the team that he played football for, we played baseball up there.
Oh, wow.
So we got to see where Kenny went to high school.
You still follow baseball at all?
Yeah. Still watch it.
Who do you like, college, pro?
Pro.
Who do you like?
Braves and Yankees.
So you like the Braves and the Yankees?
Yeah.
That's
it's a little.
Yeah, that's a little strange of a thing there.
It was. My dad was always a Yankees fan.
Oh, okay.
So I mean.
Well, it's one of those things. I mean, even I know the Yankees are the evil empire of baseball.
Yeah.
But I mean, even if you're not a fan, like there's no denying some of the players that's on there.
Oh, no.
I always loved Jeter growing up.
Yeah, Jeter.
I mean, I've been a Rangers fan pretty much ever since I can remember. Nolan Ryan's the reason I'm a Rangers fan.
Yeah.
But I mean, growing up, I loved Jeter. I respect Aaron Judge as a hitter.
Yeah.
I think he's the best hitter in the game right now. But
I wouldn't want to face him as a pitcher.
Absolutely not. But did you ever do any pitching or anything?
A little bit. I wasn't very fast pitcher. I'm left-handed, so I've got the natural curve and can throw
Gotcha.
a knuckleball.
So you said you played the outfield. I know I was a pitcher and a second baseman, so I always kind of gravitated more toward the pitchers. Like I said, I loved Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
I loved Mike Mussina growing up. All those guys. Is there any outfielders that you looked up to that you were like, hey, I'm a big fan of this guy?
Griffey was
That's definitely a good one to look
Griffey,
up to.
and then Sheffield, David Justice back when he played for Braves.
I was a big David Justice fan as a kid, and then due to his personal life choices, my mom wouldn't let me wear his jersey anymore.
Yeah, I couldn't get no. After
Ricky
that,
Henderson for Oakland too was a hell of an outfielder.
Yeah. I also played first base too before I transitioned to outfield.
Any first baseman you looked up to growing up?
Tino Martinez.
Tino was good.
Trying to think. No, I can't think of any good Braves other than Freddie Freeman now.
Fred McGriff was a first baseman.
Fred McGriff, I forgot about. Let's see. Joe DiMaggio.
I'm a big Joe Mauer fan. I know they transitioned him to first
when
he stopped catching after his knees started going. I think Joe Mauer is actually younger than I am.
Yeah, I was going to say, because he played, I think, around here somewhere for...
He played in Elizabeth. He started his career in Elizabeth. And
yeah.
Him and the Twins had another big player around the same time that they had Mauer, but I can't remember his name because I'm trying to think of it for the show. But
yeah, I can't think.
Yeah, a lot of those guys that are big stars with the Twins now that stayed in that system started in Elizabethton.
I did get to see Rick Ankiel pitch when he was John C. Cardinals.
Okay. Yeah, Yadier Molina actually started in JC too, which is kind of cool. That's another player I like, but I'm not a Cardinals fan.
Yeah.
So, Patient Zero, we'll kind of start there.
Yeah.
How did you find the School of Morton? Because you were the first student. Obviously, it didn't exist.
No, it didn't exist.
So how did you find out?
How did I find out? Well, the guy that my grandpa went to work with, he was a wrestler that tried to get me into wrestling. And it was...
Who was it, if you don't... We can say it off the record later if you don't want to put him over.
I really don't know. They used to run Carver Rec.
Yeah, I don't...
It was Axton Lowe used to do there before he went and moved on.
Okay.
But we did bumped a little bit in the ring and it was fun. And then I was like, heard that Ricky was getting to school, so I was like, I'll wait and see what happens. Mm-hmm. Once I found the website, I said, I'm going to sign up. Why not?
So was Ricky Dooley? Was the Dooley gimmick that the first iteration that you came here with, or
no?
Where did the progression come from? Like, where did you kind of start, and then how did the Dooley thing come about?
The Dooley thing just happened organically because, we had somebody that didn't want to be a Dooley, so, they asked me. I was going as Rick Razor.
It's an interesting name. Like,
yeah, let's see. First name, Ricky, might as well shorten it to Rick Flair.
There you go.
And then Razor came from Razor Ramon. Big Razor Ramon fan.
Please don't tell me you were trying to do the Scarface accent.
No.
Okay.
No.
So the Dooley thing, was that a brainchild of somebody else?
Yeah, somebody else. Like, they come up with the idea, and then somebody else didn't want to do it. So they asked me. I said, yeah, why not?
And that's kind of gotten you more over probably than the Rick Razor thing would have.
Yeah.
And that's not trying to be a dick about how I'm saying
it's not.
that. But
no.
You've kind of taken this thing and ran with it and turned it in. You're probably the most loved guy on the roster now.
And I've had about 3 or 4 different partners.
I can count, 3 or 4 since I've been here in the 3 years that I've been here. So we've had Silas is the most, the Rebar Rooster is the most recent.
Yeah, Rebar is the most recent. With
Silas.
We've had Danny Dooley. We've had Al Dooley. We've had Buster Dooley.
That Buster was here when I was here, and Danny was here.
Yeah, and they was their own tag team, and I was that singles guy that,
I remember that.
And then they left.
Was there any more besides those? Or?
Well, we got Uncle Jimmy, but that's...
Wasn't there a Jeff Dooley there for a little bit?
Yeah, if you want to...
and then he kind of branched off and did his own thing.
Yeah, he wanted to do whatever he wanted to do.
So yeah, we talked about Buster and Danny. I remember when I first came to the school, I think they might have been the tag team champions.
Yeah, they might have. I
Or
think.
they were running for it. And you were in a literal blood feud with the Sultan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I remember seeing. I think that was the first show that I ever worked here. They had me refereeing.
Oh yeah, that
and
was
I
our,
refed the
our
street
hardcore,
fight
yeah.
with you and the Sultan.
Man, I was sore. I know for 3 days. I'm sure the Sultan was sore.
That was right. How was that? How was working him, and how did that come about? Because it seems like that really elevated. I always tell people my matches with Mook elevated me.
Yeah.
It seemed like your matches with the Sultan really elevated you.
It did. I mean, we brought out the best in each other. That it was 1 for 1, whatever you wanted to do. I mean, I know he hits hard, and I hit hard right back.
Yeah, that was some pretty hard hits when I was in the ring with you guys.
Yeah, I remember he hit me so hard, blood like come out of my face.
I think it hit me actually.
I think it hit you, and I think some fans. We scared some fans that night.
I remember people running out crying.
Yeah, because they thought I was dying.
Yeah.
I mean.
So to kind of get back to that, like I said, Patient Zero, you've kind of been one of the guys that's helped train the newer guys. I mean, you were one of the people that actually helped train me when I first came here. So with that, is that a passion of yours, is to actually help train guys?
Oh yeah, I love training. I mean, it gets my mind flowing, help come up with move sets for different guys. I mean, help you come up with ideas.
Yeah, I think between you and the Sultan, and y'all kind of at least gave me my base.
Yeah.
And then, I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for you guys, and definitely, like I said, Mook elevated me.
Yeah, Mook did.
So to get back to that, we'll kind of go back, rewind a little bit as far as wrestling. Like I said, you have the Dooley gimmick.
Yeah.
Lots of hillbilly gimmicks out there, but you've kind of given it a life of its own.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that you've looked up to or kind of looked and followed to kind of get? I know Hillbilly Jim's probably
Hillbilly
the most
Jim's.
famous.
Godwin's.
I didn't think about them.
I watched them too. I'm trying to think of other hillbillies.
That's the main ones that I
say.
can think of. I mean, you got Haystacks Calhoun was a hillbilly gimmick. Homer Odell kind of was. So if you go back on those, as far as wrestling, did you grow up a fan?
Oh yeah.
Have you been a fan your whole life? Is it something you just started watching recently?
No, I've been a fan my whole life. My grandpa really got started in wrestling. I think wrestling locally around here, but didn't really do much.
Mm-hmm.
He reffed a couple times. And
Who'd you look up to growing up?
growing up would be Sting.
So you were a Sting fan?
Oh yeah.
Anybody else? Michaels, Bret Hart, any of those guys?
I watched Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Owen.
Owen's one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, should be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, absolutely. So were you a WCW or a WWF guy?
A little bit of both until it got to the point where my mom's like, "Hey, you can't watch WWE no more. We can go watch WCW."
Back during the Attitude
Yeah.
Era. Yeah. And then WCW tried to do its own Attitude Era and fell
then
on its face.
Yeah,
But,
I didn't watch.
so, outside of wrestling, I know you're a big horror movie buff. We've
Yeah.
kind of talked about that at times.
Yeah.
What kind of horror, like as far as the horror genre goes, I know you have slasher horror, you have body horror, you have psychological horror. What kind of stuff are you into as far as that's concerned?
The old school horror, like old Creature from Black Lagoon and
Also, like the Universal Monsters
Universal.
horror.
And then
That's
also-
cool. Man.
Yeah. I was a big Wolfman and Creature from the Black Lagoon.
That's interesting because most people that you talk to about horror go a completely different route. Like, oh, I'm into Saw, but they've never seen the
Yeah, they
classics
just
that really
seen
made it.
the first Saw, and it's like, whatever. No, I went and watched all those old movies and still watch Halloween. Halloween's still my original.
Is that your
Halloween.
all-time favorite? It's the Halloween.
Yeah.
Hey, have you seen the new Halloween?
Oh, yeah.
What'd you think of it?
It was good. I like how they did it where all the other Halloween movies past two didn't exist. They made it into its own.
Yeah, kind of like after the original 1 and 2.
Yeah.
This is kind of the third part, which is probably what it should have been
Yeah.
in the first place. Because they went way out there with it after a while.
Yeah,
but-
because the Rob Zombie Part 2 went way out there.
Rob Zombie's first one was phenomenal, I
loved
thought.
yes, but after that one, he just went.
I don't know what 2 was. It was like one big mind screw is
Yeah.
what it seemed like. And then you had the one with Paul Rudd where he was the kid, I think, from the very first one.
It was either Curse or Return of Michael Myers.
I can't remember. I think it was 6. I think it's Curse.
Yeah, Curse, because that one.
And then you had the one with Busta Rhymes. Like they went way off the way off the beaten path there for a while. So besides Michael Myers, is there any Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, or are you kind of into that slasher side of it? Or because I know you have the Jason tattoo.
I got the Jason.
Do you follow the Friday the 13th series, or
yeah?
What's your favorite one in that?
It's got to be the original first 2, and after New Beginning,
New Beginning was that 5 or 6?
I want to say 6, maybe, or 5. I have to go back and.
Because I remember what got me off of Friday the 13th was where they went to the camp.
Yeah, it was.
And it was somebody posing as Jason as a murderer. It wasn't. That was 6.
Yeah.
That one was out there.
And then Jason X sucked because
I'd never seen Jason X.
It's taken Jason into a sci-fi realm where you freeze him and then he comes back and.
I remember the storyline, and I think reading about it is the reason that I didn't see it.
I think that's what a lot of people.
Because it was the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life was taking him into space for whatever reason.
Why?
Jason Goes to Hell was good though.
Jason was because that set up the Freddy versus Jason.
Yes.
It took so long to get there, but we got it.
And it was probably the goriest of the Friday the 13th from what I can remember.
Yeah, because
Jason Takes Manhattan was gory as hell too.
Yeah, Jason. Yeah, I would say Manhattan would be the.
I think that's the one where the guy told him to punch him and he knocked his head off.
Yeah,
is that?
I think so. And then he turns the dude's head all the way around.
That's Takes Manhattan, and I think he ripped a guy's heart out with a harpoon in that one as too.
Yeah, he's just on killing
there's
spree.
some gory shit in those
No
movies.
kidding.
What did you think of the new one where he was actually running in that one?
It's weird because Jason don't run.
He was an Olympic sprinter in that
I
last
know.
son of a bitch. Though.
The last Friday the 13th, I mean, come on. Just, you don't even have to go far. It's just, he's just there.
It could have been an easy remake, and they completely dropped the ball on it.
No kidding. They just said, here, we're going to make him a sprinter like a friggin' zombie.
And before that, I had read somewhere, I think on like Arrow in the Head or something, that they were trying to make Jason like a Blair Witch, like first person.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
I don't think that would work.
Do you follow a lot of horror like that? Like when I was a kid, there was like Fangoria magazine.
Yeah.
Or like Arrow in the Head right now is a great website if you follow horror at all.
Most of the time, it was always got the Fangoria magazine.
I remember those when I was a kid. And you could order the props and shit.
But it cost an arm and a leg for a prop.
And like I said, I've talked to a few guys about music. I've talked to a few guys about movies, and same thing with that horror. Like you have horror and wrestling kind of relate hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like it kind of circles around to where you have these big characters that even though they're bad guys are adored.
Exactly.
You still kind of have that same concept in wrestling to where everybody's trying to beat the big bad.
Exactly. Yeah, it does.
So it kind of has a natural marriage that you would be a fan of that and of wrestling as well.
Yeah.
To segue back into the wrestling portion of it, where do you see yourself going in the wrestling business? I know SOM Live is about to go live every Sunday
week.
at 5:05. It seems like this is the independent wrestling promotion to be in right now while everybody's on board.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the first student. I mean, come on. I mean, where else?
So as far as SOM, you know, I think you're the most decorated champion that we have here.
Almost. I haven't won the SOM title.
I thought you were the SOM champion at one point in time.
Been the heavyweight. I've not been the SOM champ yet.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean.
So, what all titles have you held while you've been here?
Tag belts, X, and East Tennessee.
And everything but the SOM title, basically?
Yeah, pretty much.
Have you held the youth title yet?
No.
Oh.
No.
If there's a women's title, are we going to see a transgender Ricky Dooley going for the women's title?
No.
Please don't be offended by that comment.
No, I won't be offended by it. No. Probably not. I'll leave that to old Andy Kaufman back when he used to do it.
Well, like we talked about again, your feud with the Sultan. when you guys had that going on. He's the current SOM champion.
Yeah.
Would that be something that you would want to revisit? Maybe going back and trying to get that golden goose that you haven't got yet. Maybe try to take that out of the Sultan's hands.
Oh, I'm up. I'm game. I mean,
if it's anything like the last one, that would be one hellacious. Yeah.
We've put our bodies through hell.
Who all have you held the tag team titles with besides Silas?
Let's see. Buster, I know. Al, no. Danny is basically Buster.
So, like I said, we said the Dooley's probably the most beloved team person, however you want to put it, in the history of SOM. I know there for a while you were working as was it Richard Dooley? Wasn't that the name when you were with old Brian Jeffries in the EGC?
Oh, Richard Dooley.
How was that?
Oh, it was fun. It was good to be a bad guy. And
do you prefer being more heel, or do you feel a little bit more at home being a baby face?
I mean, I can do both. It's fun doing heel because you can express more and tell the fans how you really feel.
And when you're a heel, if you're in a tag team, you get to team with Jeff Klepper, so that has to be double the fun right there.
I'd rather team Forrest.
Oh, okay. So, as far as, like I said, progression on it, where do you see yourself going in the wrestling business? Is it something as...
I mean, I'm here. I mean, whatever happens here, I mean, we'll just see what happens because, I mean, we never know who's watching, who's going to come in. And
that's true. And, I mean, they have. I mean, you've been here since the beginning, so you've seen all the people.
I've seen a lot of people come through that door and leave through that door. Just, they don't want to stick it out. I mean,
as far as people that's come in, I know since I've been here, we've had Jimmy Valiant, we've had Joey Ryan, we've had Austin Theory, Kane, Jimmy Golden, Manny Fernandez. Who do you feel that you've learned the most from out of, the guests that come in and out, so to speak? Let's see.
Learned a lot.
We also had, before I even got here, Buddy Landell, somebody who had an impact on me personally.
God, it was so cool listening to Buddy Landell just talk about the business and how to get from one spot to another without doing much.
And as a tag team guy, you think Road Warrior Animal was here? Did you pick his brain, learn anything
from
him?
A little bit. Got to pick his brain a little bit and just hear the stories that he got to do and everything.
And Jimmy Valiant, that seems like somebody like a character like yourself.
Oh, yeah.
That's somebody that you've teamed with him as well.
It was fun.
That seems like somebody you could really pick his brain and learn from him, because most people think Jimmy Valiant, the Boogie Woogie Man. They don't realize he's one of the greatest tag team wrestlers of all time with Johnny. So
I know a lot of people forget that he was a tag team, and then everybody sees him as the singles guy that just come out and clap and
brother. How was it to team and learn from Jimmy Valiant?
Oh, it was good. It was fun experience because we didn't really do much at all. I mean,
any insight that he gave you besides telling your partner to shut up? Or
no, that was all the insight. brother. Shh.
That's all the insight you needed, huh?
Yeah, just listen to him. Close your mouth.
So as far as what you've seen, like when you first came to the School of Morton, it was a little small, basically handmade ring.
Yeah.
And then now we have two actual 18 by 18 full, or 16 by 16. In full service rings here at all time, plus the handmade.
Yeah.
Plus the ring that we only use on outside shows. Did you think when you first came here that this was going to progress to the level of what it is now? I'm sure nobody has.
No one really has. I mean, because I remember it was just a wall up here and just had the small ring. Could fit 30 people in here.
Really? How was that ring to bump in?
It was like bumping on concrete if you feel like it.
I would imagine, because just walking in it hurts your knees.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not
my first day here doing hip tosses and learning how to bump and stuff, I broke the ring the first day. So,
oh, wow.
So we had to...
So Chase Owens, that's one of Chase Owens and Kid Cash, that's probably Ricky's two, most well-known students.
Yeah.
And where you were here at the start, you were probably here. You probably got a lot of one-on-one time with Chase.
Oh, especially with Chase, yes.
How was it to learn from him?
Oh, it's pretty good. I mean, to see where he's at now from when I started, Like, he's evolved a lot.
And it's cool as hell to see it now because I don't know if Chase wants me to put it out there, but I mean, Chase does come in here and train a lot. Chase is he's a really good guy.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
He's helped me out a lot personally and professionally.
Yeah.
And to see him on New Japan doing what he is doing at the level of what he is doing it, that's something really cool to see.
It
man.
really is, because how he trains in here is how he does his matches.
Absolutely.
I mean, he goes 100% all the time. And he shows you little tricks here and there. He don't give them all away.
Do you feel you've learned a lot from him? Because I'll notice you have that package backbreaker that's kind of I guess kind of an homage to him.
It
kind of
is, yeah. Because, I mean, he's got the package pile driver. I said, well, as a heel, let me come up with something that no one's ever seen before.
And that was really damn innovative, too.
Yeah.
Man, that's a cool move.
And you don't see a lot of guys.
So as far as new stuff that's out there, AEW, NWA, NXT, is there anybody now that you watch that you're kind of like, man, this guy's cool, I want to...
Watch a lot of Aleister Black.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't take you for an Aleister Black guy, honestly.
Exactly.
What is it that kind of draws you to him? Is it kind of like the horror vibes
it's the
that he
horror
has?
vibe, and then just his kicks and where he places certain stuff in matches.
He's a hell of a martial artist.
Yes.
He's Dutch, so all those guys can kickbox. But
yeah. I'd hate to get kicked by him, but I mean...
that would suck. Anybody else you watch that you're kind of into?
Let's see. I watch a lot of... On the main roster, Daniel Bryan, because where I got the running knee from.
Daniel Bryan's great.
Yes, he's great. The Fiend.
You watch a lot of AEW or ROH or any of those shows?
Not as much ROH now. Back then when Daniel Bryan, Kevin Steen,
That was when it was at the top of its game, though.
CM Punk.
I remember ordering those DVDs while I was overseas, where they had the matches with the series with Punk and Samoa
Summer
Joe.
of Punk.
That was probably one of the best DVD sets I've ever seen.
Him
And I'm going to sound like a huge mark saying
Hey, it's
that.
okay.
But man,
I think we're all marks for this.
we all are to a point. Punk and ROH is actually what got me back into wrestling when I got off for the longest time, because I thought that roster that they had was completely and utterly phenomenal.
Yeah, because you had Samoa Joe, you had Christopher Daniels, Kazarian, just all the top talent.
They had Jamie Noble on the roster then too. He was actually wrestling. I think it's James Gibson, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
But he was on that roster doing crazy stuff. Is that somebody? He's probably the last one on the main roster that's really had the hillbilly gimmick. It's kind of similar to what you have.
Yeah.
Is Jamie Noble somebody that you watch and kind of study any of his stuff?
Yeah, I've watched some of his stuff, especially when him and Kid Cash, the Pit Bulls.
That was some good stuff, man.
Man, I watched them live, man.
Really?
Oh my God.
Where'd you see them at Freedom Hall?
Freedom Hall. I think it was SmackDown Live, I think.
So speaking of Kid Cash too, like I said, you were obviously patient zero. I know we've said that a million times. But did Ricky bring Kid Cash in a lot?
Not a lot. Kid Cash would just show up every once in a while, and I got to be in the ring with Kid Cash, and he stomped my ass.
How was
And I
that
mean that
experience?
literally.
Because I hear he's a little stiff.
Oh yeah, I remember James saying, "How you do a fireman's carry?" He called me out, gives me the fireman's carry. I'm like, "Okay, this ain't bad." And he goes, "Go sit in the corner, kid." I'm like, "Okay, well, am I sitting?" He goes, "This is how I stomp somebody." He kicked me so hard, I was looking for my heart over in the other side.
I know the last time he came here, he was showing on Jeff Miller how to give clubs to the back.
Yeah.
And Jeff went and set down the rest of the training.
Oh yeah.
session.
He didn't pull no punches.
You ever watch any of his stuff from ECW?
Yeah. Oh, Kid Cash when he looked like Kid Rock.
He looked exactly like Kid Rock. But I wish he would have caught on, because it's almost like he got caught on with these companies right when they were shutting down.
Yeah.
And it's like he missed his break by that, which you can still say. I mean, the WWE stuff was
Still good.
Oh yeah.
But ECW, man, he was just killing it.
I wish it would have stayed in business longer for him to get more of a shot, because
Yeah, because if you go back and watch some of the old, I think 99 ECW TV with him and Mike Awesome,
that was some good stuff. And I think he was working Easy Money.
Yeah.
He was another local guy a lot then. He's working Chris Hamrick. That they had some knockdown dragouts. And I think he was in a tag team. Wasn't he in a tag team with Easy Money and ECW?
Yeah, I believe so. I think.
I can't remember. I kind of fell off right near the dying days of it.
I did
but
too.
I remember he was still there.
Because after a lot of them left, like Raven and all of them left, I mean.
So we've kind of went over everything that you did here.
Yeah.
We've kind of went over, the history of your titles, the history of your
Yeah.
character. Is there any shout outs you want to give? Any way to find you on social media?
Don't have no social media account just yet.
So a Dooley doesn't have a social media account.
I do have my personal
Living
one.
the gimmick, huh?
Yeah, I have my own personal one, but I just don't have a gimmick one.
Well, maybe we can come back next time when you get a gimmick one, and we can go ahead and
we can plug
that.
it. Yeah.
So that's all we have here today with Ricky Dooley. I've gotten way more out of them than I ever thought that we would. So until next time, catch you on the flip side.